agenda meeting to order and have everyone stand for the invocation by Commissioner Thomas, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Gracious Creator, as we gather here in the heart of our city, we seek your guidance and wisdom. Bless this meeting with understanding, collaboration, and a shared commitment to the common good. May our decisions reflect fairness and compassion for the well-being of our community. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Carly, if you can call the roll, please.
Neidinger.
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Thompson. Here. Reed.
Here.
Penny.
Here. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. This morning we're going to conduct an agenda meeting first and then be followed by an administrative workshop. Right now we're going to review the proposed agenda items for the February 13th Tuesday evening regular commission meeting. And currently we have no public hearings, no unfinished business. We have the consent agenda, which is just the meeting minutes for the month of January, which are always on file in the city clerk's office, and no new business. So I'm sure no one has no objections to approving these minutes at that meeting. Who knows what might get added before that date. So we always get surprises here. So at this point, we will accept the agenda as it is for the 13th, and we will adjourn. Let's head downstairs, put our other hats on. Okay. All right. Okay, we're going to go ahead and call the administrative workshop to order. Carly, if you can do the roll once again, please.
Neidinger.
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Thompson. Here. Reed.
Here.
Penny.
Here. All right. Move right on to our discussion items. Our first thing is we're going to do a recognition of Hurricane Idalia Emergency Operating Center volunteers from Pasadena Community Church. And we've got quite a little group here with us today. I'll turn this over to Carly at this point.
I'll take it. For those that don't know, the city has an arrangement with Pasadena Community Church to serve as our EOC when there are emergencies that we have to evacuate from the city. That happened last fall with Hurricane Idalia, and so South Pasadena, St. Pete Beach, and Treasure Island all send first responders and staff up to Pasadena Community Church, and the church provides volunteers that they stay with us in the EOC, and they serve right along with us as we monitor the storm and respond to what we can and prepare to go back out into the community once the emergency is over. And we could not do what we do without them. The way, not just the tasks that we perform, but their attitudes of just support through all of it. We are up around the clock, and they are up with us. They are coming in with cookies and pizzas that they made at 2 and 3 in the morning to help pep up those of us that have to do the night shift. They are up first thing with us doing breakfast, you know, for those that are eating to go to sleep and for those that are waking up to take the next shift. They are just in it with us. And it is not an easy thing for them to do. It's not an easy thing for us to do. And I just can't tell you the impact that their support and service has on us during those events. We don't have to worry about things we worry, because you just turn around and they're there. They anticipate our needs, and they're kind about it, and they're upbeat and supportive. And a lot of us get cranky and don't shower for a couple of days, and we're all worried about our own families and our own homes and whatnot, and they are just there. And it's a really amazing partnership that we have with them, and it really makes that experience more than bearable. I mean, you go into it, nobody really looks forward to the EOC, but we kind of go into it like, all right, we'll be up eating Paul's cookies, and Anita's going to make us, it just completely changes it. And so we're just very grateful for them and what they do. And so we've invited them here to recognize them and thank them for their contribution to us. I always say, like, I hate to see them because it means that we have an EOC, but I also love to see them. So it's great to have you all here and be able to see your faces in a different circumstance. So I hope I don't have to see you this coming hurricane season. Maybe we can just go to lunch or something. But, you know, if I do have to see you, it's always a blessing. So I just want to say thank you. And if y'all want to come up, we've got a plaque for you, and we're going to do some
I can tell you.
pictures, and whenever you're ready.
You guys can knock on my door anytime at 2 or 3 in the morning with hot cookies.
That's all you want.
Baked. I'm prepared all the time for that. And yes, it's a very uplifting church, and everyone there is always there to help everyone in the community. So I really appreciate everything you guys do for us. Want to bring everybody up here?
Yeah, I'm going to scoot the chairs in just a second, and we'll come up for some photos.
I'm having all kinds of trouble here. What's going on?
Today.
Well, I got a plain screen, so I'll be looking at you, making it up as I'm going along.
Guess we want us all up there.
Hey.
Look at you, even here. Yeah, did you bring cookies? No, that would have been hilarious.
What time?
Boss,
I mean, on time. That's all that I try and just read it on time.
All right, so if I can get some of you kind of in on each side, if you'd like, and then Mayor, I'm going to hand you the plaque. So, if you want to decide who wants to, do you want him to be handing the plaque to y'all from paper, rock, scissors, whatever you want to do, and so I'll let you guys arrange how you.
I get here in the middle. Give it to the hard working guys.
Okay, actually,
Try to fit everybody else in. Sure we have room up here for all that? Okay.
yeah, it'll work, I think. I'll hand back. Two, want to get everybody in. Okay. Oh, yeah, I can get everybody in. Okay, I'm gonna take a bunch, so just stand real still, and everybody just smile. Ready? All right, thank you. Okay. Everybody. Okay. Thank you very much.
That was it?
That was it.
Okay. All right, well, we'll hand it over
Thank
this
you
way.
all very much.
I think you guys got a wall of those right now, don't you? Good. Good, so I can build you another wall soon. Anyway, good morning, good to see you guys. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Yep. Yeah.
7 weeks on my new knee, it's doing
Yeah,
all
here
right.
if you wanna. And then.
Did you say 7 weeks?
7 weeks.
Well, maybe not for you, but it sure seems
Yeah, no.
seems like
Thank you guys. Oh, thank you so much. I'm gonna give him a hard time about that. At least I'm in the country. Thank you so much, Paul.
There are little snacks over there for you guys.
Glasses?
I know Gary wants one.
All right.
thank you all for
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you go up there? Nice, they're wonderful. We love them.
Okay. All right, I guess we'll move on to item number 2.
Okay.
And this is a request from our Representative Linda Cheney, the BRT lanes.
That would be me. The other day at the ribbon cutting at the breast cancer facility at the hospital, Representative Cheney and I started a conversation, and she asked me if we would support, and you need to, this would be right up your alley, if we would support changing the BRT lanes back to general traffic use like they were prior to the BRT coming in.
I'm in.
And I said, well, that sounds like something we would definitely be interested in doing. I said, of course, I got to take it up to the full commission, hence why it's on the agenda this morning. I've had a subsequent conversation with her and her staff member, Tristan, and then she had former Rep. Jackie Toledo reach out to me. So basically what she's looking for is a resolution, and the wording would have to be up to you, that we would support any efforts by her to restore the full access to the lanes the way they were originally. She did say it would come with a stipulation that we'd have to do a traffic study. And she said FDOT could do the study, which I thought was kind of like, letting the fox audit the hens.
Please.
And then she said, well, former Representative Jackie Toledo does these kind of studies. That's what her background is. She's reached out to me. She asked for my emails yesterday. I haven't gotten anything from her. But, so that's kind of where we are. Or Representative Cheney rather, is under the impression that we were supportive of the BRT, that we had a resolution. And I bring that up only just as a matter of discussion, because she said, look, we're not going to go backwards and argue whether you supported it or not, because I made it clear we did not. And she goes, we're looking to go forward. And of course, in my conversation with her, I said, nobody's really obeying the rules anyway. To me, it creates kind of a safety hazard, because you've got a large bicycle painted in the road, which indicates to bicyclists they can use it. And my wife and I have been in there when cars have come by screaming at us, get out of that road. So if it's not going to be enforced, to me, it creates more of a safety hazard for people than not. Because you've got people, if you're pulling out and you think that somebody's, and they're zipping around. So I'm kind of in an interesting situation now that I'm on the board of PSTA. Representative Cheney asked me to bring this up to you all. I personally am for it. I would support a resolution, the wording, of course, up to council. And I don't know what a study would cost us. I'm waiting to hear on that, and I would pass that on to staff.
One of the issues, too, is we shouldn't have our 2 sheriffs pulling people over in that lane. They've got other things to do.
Right.
And that's what's been happening. I've talked to a couple of people that actually got tickets.
Really?
And my doctor got pulled over on his way to the hospital. So,
quite a few people
that
get
makes
pulled
no
over
sense at all. And if you're going to turn, like if you're coming north and you're going to turn into Dunkin' Donuts or Pasadena Cove or even at the turn, you need a little space to do that.
Right.
Can't be just zipping out there, so.
Well, to kind of give you a little more background on my first meeting on the PSTA board, which was 2 weeks ago, they asked us to vote on a study to put BRT lanes on alternate 19. It was a $250,000 study that I voted against, but it passed 9-4, and they said, well, there won't be any lane takeaways. There'll be BRT, but no lane takeaways. I said, excuse me, I believe that's what you told South Pasadena, and here we're down a third of our lanes each direction. Yeah. Well, they call them BAT lanes, business access turn lanes, whatever. So, you can use them to turn, but you can't use them to go forward. Semantics. But anyway, Whit Blanton, who's I think spoken to us about transit-oriented development, he gave the presentation that I questioned about, so now I've got a meeting with him sometime next week here in the office. He wants to have a sit-down, so. The reason I bring that up is there seems to be an appetite for increasing this. Of the Sunrunner lanes, South Pasadena is the only municipality that the entire length of the city was affected by. St. Pete was only affected,
Part of it.
not a good portion of it, mind you.
Yeah.
But St. Pete Beach they've got the Sunrunner, but they don't have restricted lanes. So,
They only have 2 lanes.
right,
in a lot of
exactly.
places.
So, they've basically turned us into 2 lanes each direction. So that's why I bring this to you today. I would like to see us come up with something, a consensus on moving forward with the resolution. I told Representative Cheney I would get back to her after today.
I think we would, of course, we need to know what it's going to cost us to have the study done.
Right.
And if the study does say the lanes should go back, is there a cost to the city to redo the lanes? Or that's something that they're just going to pay for to redo them.
I guess they'd have
And
to
then-
repaint them, wouldn't they?
And then there's the
Yeah.
local businesses that are along those routes. I know several that I've talked to, while they weren't for the bus lanes, all of a sudden now are because it's helping their people get in and out of their properties better. And I know Pasadena Cove had a big deal getting in and out a lot of times with traffic, and I'm thinking things are better there now. So I think we might need to check with our neighbors and everybody as well to see how they're doing and if they want to see these things go away. Because while it wasn't a greatest idea and we were against it, it came in, it was here. People are kind of used to it, not much, but some. And I don't want to take something away that might be helping our businesses get people in and out. Because before, there was a lot of businesses said, well, it's hard for people, they don't want to come in because they can't get back out because the traffic's too thick. And now they've got a turning lane, basically, they can use to get back out. So we just need to ask, I mean, a resolution's fine. I just want to make sure that we're listening to everybody out here and what they want. So maybe we can do some questions.
Well, and also, if I may, Representative Cheney's got the support of the governor's staff on this and the Secretary of FDOT from District 7, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's a worthwhile cause, but I just want to make sure
But to
we're
your
not
point-
hurting anybody.
Right, yeah, so I mean,
And Julia?
The only comment I wanted to make, and certainly we can prepare a resolution and have that proceed forward, is in terms of utilizing the services, and I happen to know Jackie Toledo very well. She's a very well respected transportation engineer, and I've known her for years. But besides that, we maybe get caught in a procurement issue depending on what she's going to charge us. So I would suggest that maybe it's appropriate to go ahead and get her to get us what her cost will be, and we'll have to determine whether or not we need to go forward in a procurement process in order to retain her services, or, which would be fine. It's just I'll want to know that information for our purposes. So I would just ask that she prepare and provide us with an estimate of costs
Sure.
to do this study, because I presume what the study would be showing is that the number of trips on that BRT lane today versus what they would be if you were to fully open it up, what that trip generation would be, and whether or not that would cause any kind of traffic slowdown. So
Okay.
that's what I imagine should be the scope of her work, so.
Because I know they did a lot of studies before, of course, they
Yeah.
kept throwing those at us, how it's not going to change anything, and we know it did. Just because it is what it is this time of year, especially with everybody in town, all the snowbirds here, and the traffic just gets crazy. I mean, you're sitting out there forever trying to get up and down Pasadena Avenue, so. But yeah, let's just look at everything, take the big picture in, and then go from there.
Maybe they could, where you're coming from the beach and all those businesses are right there on the right.
Mhm.
If they eased you back in, because once you get past where Publix is, there's not as many businesses there.
Right.
And ease it back in, there,
Yeah, it's an idea,
yeah,
something, leave a little bit of it, maybe and get rid of the rest of it, you think?
right, yeah.
Let's see. I know, all we got is our little 3/4 of a mile, I think, altogether, that they would take out of here. That means there would be another patch as soon as you got past us, unless St. Pete, I think St. Pete is for the BRT, so I doubt they're gonna go against removing the lane. So we'll have to see. Okay.
First Avenue North and South is a mess.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
good for them. It's a
Yeah.
mess. We've been going down Central of all things. I mean, it's really that bad. It,
the lights on Central would deal with first.
I think it's a mess.
So we're gonna wait and see what kind of price, we're gonna try to get a price, I guess, on whatever this is gonna be first, and then talk to some of our local businesses and see how they're feeling about the traffic flow.
That's what she's doing right now.
Well, we definitely
Places
least
like
that's where-
Causeway Village
Wait,
and
My
Pasadena
impression, so I'll
Cove.
follow back up with her after this.
I mean, if it was to go away and traffic got back to blocking those lanes where they couldn't get out again, how happy would they be? So, those kind of things.
Especially that shopping center there where they come out of the pet place.
Yeah.
That helped them getting out of that pet and get back into traffic.
Right,
I mean, the turn.
my wife doesn't like to turn into that lane.
Yeah,
I told her, I said, well, you can turn into it, you just have to get out of it. You can't stay there.
yeah.
I mean, because it can help you get back into the flow of traffic if you use it properly.
Turn your blinker on when you get in.
Don't
Turn
worry
your blinker
about it.
on,
I've got that down.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so we need to kind of find out it would cost us for
I
the
guess I'll
study.
look forward to getting like Julia said, the cost for this and the scope of
And-
work that we're looking at.
and if we might get charged for having to put it back to black.
Okay.
Maybe they should also find out how many tickets have been issued or warnings,
That too, I guess.
you know, that they're
We get that from the
wasting their
sheriff's
time
department,
on
can't
that.
But that's what I'm wondering, so is that
I wonder if,
I wouldn't mind having that information for a resolution.
ticket
Yeah.
information?
Yeah, I think that's actually pretty.
Because I know a lot of people ask me, I've seen people get pulled over, but some people ask me, well, we never see anybody get pulled over, or has anybody ever been pulled over? So I like to go by my personal view of it, what I've seen. Of course, I've told a lot of them, maybe go talk to the people at the Horse and Jockey, because I know I got a lot of calls from there about all the people getting pulled over when they first put it in. Because they could see them across the street getting pulled over for being in that lane.
Yeah.
So, okay, all right, we got a plan.
Thank you.
Sounds like, okay. Our next is an amendment to the traffic signal maintenance and compensation agreement with FDOT.
Yes, so there's an amendment added. We have an agreement with the state to maintain the traffic signals along Pasadena Avenue. So they provide compensation to the city annually for that. They need to submit an amendment, which is there. I believe the difference is that they've added some equipment, and so it's changing some of the compensation amounts. And their primary question to us, though, that they wanted us to have sort of an official answer to, is if you look on it's the third page of the amendment that's presented there. They actually don't have page numbers on their amendment, but it's the third page, so it's under number 12.
Yeah,
There is a blank in the second sentence for the designee of who is authorized by the city to execute the agreements and the amendments. They have filled that in with traffic operations manager. We don't have that. So we had let them know that our typical signatory would be the mayor. They wanted it officially noted within a meeting that the mayor is an approved authorized signatory for the city. So that's my primary question, is to go ahead and allow us to have that position changed from traffic operations manager to the mayor, and then to get your approval to execute the amendment. So,
For the charter, the mayor would have the authority.
Right.
I think what they were looking at is some official action. You can't technically take official action today. You can build a consensus over this issue, which should be sufficient. You can't take the action.
you
No, I told you, sorry. We could take consensus and that should be sufficient for the Department of
so
Transportation.
we don't have to add it to next week's.
You don't need to because you have authority under the charter. But
Gotcha.
we wanted to bring it to you, even though it's a consensus action, that everybody agrees that my interpretation of the charter is appropriate.
gotcha.
Okay, everybody good?
Well, no, we had, no, I'm good with us.
We have consensus.
I just wanted to
we
make
have
sure
consensus.
everybody knew what was
Yes, we
going
do.
on.
Okay. Okay.
So hopefully some of these new things they've installed will help the lights change better for everyone.
Nice. Yeah, and so just to be clear, this amendment is for them giving us money. It's not the city committing to anything.
Okay.
This has to be in place in order for them to pay the city to maintain those signals. So that's what this amendment is.
the other way.
If it was going the other way, it would have to be on a night meeting.
We're getting money now.
Understood.
Taking it in,
spending
we're
money.
not committing to anything. So
Okay,
that's that.
all right. Well, our next one is the annual John Maroney Law Enforcement and First Responder Appreciation Dinner.
That one's me also. So I think y'all are somewhat familiar with that event that happens every year. They've sent out a save the date. The event will be Saturday, March 23rd. The last several years, the city has not gotten a table. We have sent a donation instead in the amount of $750. Which at one point was like the table amount. The amounts have gone up, so our question to you is, are you wanting to maintain just an annual donation? Do you want to consider getting a table? That's question number 2. And then they have also added a different level of support for the organization in more ways than just by attending the dinner. They now have an annual membership that they're asking people to contribute to the Maroney Foundation. So my question to you all is, what are your thoughts on the dinner? Would you like us to go forward with the table, which would be $1,500? Do we want to maintain the level of donation that we have been doing and not going to the dinner, which is $750, and the annual amount for a membership is $100?
Oh.
So Those are the questions they have posed to us.
I would think we budgeted just $750, I'm assuming,
That's what we've been doing is 750.
right? So the only thing not budgeted would be the $100, which we could pull
Correct.
from somewhere.
Do you have to have that to have the donation?
No, I mean, you can just send a donation and not be a member, or you could send a $650 donation and use $100 for the member. I mean, you could kind of
Yeah.
do whatever
And what
you'd
is
like to
is there,
do.
anything you get for being a member? Is there something, just you listed
I
as a
think
member?
you're it's listed as a
Yeah, okay.
supporting.
No. Just checking, you never know.
So-
No, memberships, yeah. Well, I would say this is a well worth cause, and I can see our city should be a member of this organization if that's what they're doing now. So the $100 is fair for an annual membership. I don't think paying $1,500 for us to go to a dinner is using the city's money wisely. So I think just a donation to help out the cause is our best way to go. So if everybody's in consensus on that,
I agree.
okay,
So we want to do the membership and our
Yeah.
standard donation?
correct.
Okay.
All right, now we got fun stuff. Spring events update.
I'm gonna let Sean go first.
Oh, here comes Sean. Look at that. He's walking up here like he needs money.
Not yet, not yet, no. Money's good for now.
Got that look.
Money's good for now. No?
He heard us just save $750, so
Yeah.
$650.
I got it spent already. No, just, we're moving along very well with, the vendors, and that actually, I guess really the biggest thing is that this year, we, staff at department head meeting, no free hot dogs this year. It made it makes it hard to get, food vendors when you're giving away free stuff. And that's just, that's really just, the biggest, and we got a, pizza truck,
Yes.
barbecue, and, Johnny Tamales did like Mexican food, so. So, yeah, I mean, we got a good spread, and,
So the free hot dog thing, was that donated, or did we pay?
no,
for
we
it?
actually paid for that anyway.
And then, of course, we had somebody there having to dish them out.
Yes,
Do you have an
yeah.
idea of what the city might have spent for something like that?
What, for the free hot dogs?
Yes, maybe in the hourly rate of that person that was there.
No, I think we just paid for that for,
It was for the
grilling
kids.
and chilling, yes. It wasn't a whole lot, couple $100.
Couple $100.
Was there an
Yeah.
age limit for the kids that could get the
Like
free?
10 and under, so it was something like that, 10
Yeah,
and under,
I
I
mean, we're
think.
not checking IDs, but yeah, it was basically.
Well, yeah.
It was 10 and under.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we kind of
Yeah. Put the Disney ride sign up. If you
Well-
can fit under here, you could get one.
Where I'm going is if some of these food vendors might have a child menu or something, that the city could take the money they were spending for the hot dogs, and provide a coupon to a child to go to one of these vendors that we would prepay for a meal from that vendor for a child, or is think that's going to be too
I
much?
think that's just more complicated in my opinion. I mean, they're gonna serve pizza, I just think if we just let,
Just let it roll the way it is.
that's my opinion.
You could have some difficulty there because I'm not sure that
They
it
wanna
would
make money.
equal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what they do, we do let them in for
Tamale truck
free,
If they
versus
but.
turn in the
like the
coupon
pizza.
up, we pay them a certain price.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're distributing it.
Just a thought, just trying to
Yeah, no, I mean, it's-
make sure that these people
Give 'em
have
a
some money
balloon.
coming in
Yeah.
to
Somebody
their
give 'em a
vendor,
balloon.
and the kids
A
still get
balloon?
Give 'em
something.
balloon.
Tell them to blow it up.
Give them a
So
balloon.
happy.
Can we get balloons with the city emblem on it?
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
What?
No killing turtles.
That's right. Put it on the other side.
They'll be squeezing out the.
Something to help us with our flood rating. Maybe on the balloon.
we're moving.
So we've
we're
got
moving
three
along.
vendors.
Three vendors.
And they wanna make money.
That's what they do. That's their living.
What?
That's their business model.
Yeah. That is their living.
So we don't have the kettle corn people?
Yes.
Oh, we do?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I have kettle corn. They're gonna do kettle corn, and I think it was ices this year. Like Italian ice.
Oh,
And then we do have the local business
Coastal.
Coastal ice cream from over by Spiro's. They're coming.
Oh, that's.
So, yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah, no,
we
that's
got a
all
good, yeah, we
good.
got a good variety, yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna
The
be really
California
good.
people, they local, they live in
The,
town?
there was one last year, or the couple years we used, but we did not use them this year. I think unfortunately, last year they were already booked, but the people we got to fill their spot last year was really good. You know, and they had more, you know, they just did more than kettle corn. Last year they did, sugar, what is that, the candy corn, or cotton candy, yeah, cotton candy, I couldn't think of it. Sugar, I know it was sugar. The cotton candy, yes.
No, that's good, that's good.
But yeah, no, we're sitting pretty good right now, and I know Carly's been doing good with the sponsor, so.
We'll have all our usual stuff, the fire truck ride.
Yep, and you get
In
the
the-
new truck this year.
In the new truck.
Yep,
In
that's
the new
right.
truck this year.
I have volunteered to be cut out of the car again this year.
Yeah, we have to have, we talk about that. We
Good
have
to
some,
have a car
we have
down
some,
there. And you did very
Maybe some
I
well.
enjoyed it, it
insurance
was
issues.
fun.
we have some liability issues with that. We may
I'll sign
need
a
to-
waiver.
May need to squash that this year.
Okay.
But yeah, engine 53, the pizza, and they served the pizza out of the
Oh,
fire
I
truck.
remember them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were,
Oh, that was a
They were
good,
good.
yeah.
yeah, so I think, yeah, we're moving right along, got the trophies for the.
Music, we got the band.
Yep, the band.
Yep, band's
Was
here.
the one that came last year?
Yep.
Same, yep.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, it's all coming together.
Car show working
Just
out?
Keep
Thanks,
our, what's
thanks.
that?
Car show?
Oh, yeah, right now they are already halfway filled, so. And we
Okay.
still got a whole nother month, so we'll have our full boat.
Oh, good. They had a good show last
That was a great show. last
Yeah,
year.
that guy does very well, and he
Yeah.
does that for free,
year. Right.
which is nice.
All right, and how's our Art Spring?
It's going well. It's
Volunteers.
going well. Volunteers are RSVPing. If you're a volunteer and you want to bring somebody, we could always use an extra set of hands. This year is going to be a little bit different. We were notified after we had set the dates for all of this that the county needs Hibiscus Hall for an election the week of Art Spring. So we will be doing art drop off on Monday and Wednesday. So when it comes in on Monday, we are going to basically store it in the cultural arts room, the book room, and then they'll have the election on Tuesday, and then Wednesday we'll start
Set it up.
hanging and taking the rest of the artwork in.
Yeah.
So we'll be letting our
Make it work.
volunteers
Be
know
alright.
that, because usually we do drop off Monday, Tuesday, so this year it's going to be Monday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
So a little bit different, but it's fine. We're gonna pivot so that we can make sure that we're
Yeah, we'll make it
available
work.
for them
Be okay.
when they need. So.
Good, I was hoping we get some response. I know,
Yep.
been trying to drum up some artists and everybody myself, trying to get people to come in and join. And
Yep. And we've gotten responses for the sponsorship so far. If you know anybody and would like the information, let me know. It's on Facebook, at the website, that kind of thing. So we've gotten commitments already. So
Okay. All right. Anything else?
yeah, I think some of us have a couple different things. I don't know. I know Julia does. If you want to go ahead and start, Julia.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you.
I
Thank you
just,
all.
I know you got a couple emails from me regarding two separate one's a potential litigation matter, well, they're really both potential litigation matters. One was a writ of certiorari that had been filed against an administrative permit. However, that has now been withdrawn. I can't tell you that it won't come back, so again, I'm always going to advise you that any potential pending litigation you should not discuss. But like I said, that one ended up very shortly, and I spoke to the attorney, and he didn't seem to indicate to me that he was going to bring it back. I think that there was some miscommunication, but you never know, and I always want to keep it open just in case we have to deal with it. But fortunately, that has gone away. The second one relates to Causeway Village. I would just remind everybody, we can't get into any of the substance of the matter because it is both pending and also it may come back to you. But I did want to at least give you an overview of what this process is, because I don't think you've ever seen what they call a request for relief that comes pursuant to Florida statute. It's the land use Dispute Resolution Act is what it's known as. It's 70.51 of Florida statutes. And so I'm going to talk very generally about it so you know sort of what's out there and how this is going to happen. The way the Florida statute provision works, and I've handled probably about 20 of these, so I've dealt with them before. The way the statute reads in terms of timing and how you set the whole thing up literally makes no sense, so nobody can actually follow that process. It doesn't, there's no way to make the process work the way it's written on the page. So usually when one of these gets filed, the parties come together and they say, all right, here's the process we're going to use. It's really the only way to set it up. You're obligated under Florida statute to choose, it's sort of like a mediated settlement process or a mediator process, but it's called a special magistrate. So we're obligated to pick a special magistrate. It has to be something that is agreed to by both parties. So in this instance, we have gone through that process and someone has been chosen and a hearing date has been set. That hearing date has been set for February 29th. The way the statutory provision reads, the parties to the proceeding are, in this instance, the city or whatever governmental entity it's been filed against, and the property owner who has been denied an application. So there's only two parties to this process. Everything in terms of notification happens per statute. It is not a process that's under your code or anything like that. Under the way the Florida statutory provision reads is you are to notify anybody who participated in the underlying proceeding that is at issue. It's not the notice list you do for everything else. It's only those who participated are the only people you can notice for this. So just so you know, we did go ahead and send notice out. The notices went out, I think it was late last week. And the other part of the process that's statutorily required is anybody who had participated and received notice then needs to actually overtly inform us that they are going to participate in the process. So the letter that I sent out in this instance was very clear as to what that process was, and I gave my information so that way anybody can come to me and ask me any questions as it relates to that process. There will be in council chambers or commission chambers a hearing, as it were, and that is scheduled for February 29th. I would discourage any members of the commission from attending that meeting because anything that comes out of it could potentially come back to you. And from a due process perspective, it's appropriate not to have you get into the weeds or have that information until it's appropriate to come to you. And if that were to occur, if anything is to come to you, then I will obviously brief you and let you know what's happened. The first part of that process, as I said, is like a mediation. Is there a way generally to fix a dispute that exists, whatever that dispute is? A lot of times you don't know until you get there whether or not there's going to be able to be something that you can resolve. So I can't advise anybody right now whether or not there is or there's not because I don't know. And you don't typically know. It sort of happens through that process. And then the second part of the process is the special magistrate will take in evidence and testimony and will make a recommendation as to whether or not the action by the local government was inappropriate or unfairly burdened the real property at issue. So there's two things that come out of it, and those items typically would come back to the commission, one or the other. And sometimes, and this is more just generally, because I, again, have done this several times, sometimes it just falls apart and nothing comes out of it. It's just the way it works. Sometimes something really positive could come out of it. And I have been in positions where I've been able to settle disputes outside of court. And so I can't sit here and tell you that I don't think there's value ever in these kinds of processes. Whether or not in this instance there's not, I'm not going to opine right now, and I don't think it's appropriate for me to. But I just wanted to let you know that this is sort of a fluid process. It's not one you're used to, but I have handled them many times, and we are proceeding forward as consistently as possible with the Florida statutory requirements, knowing that those requirements, time-wise, literally don't work. They just don't. Like, they have you sending out something to a special magistrate in a certain amount of time that you haven't even chosen a special magistrate yet. So, those are the types of things that make it an impossibility. You have to send out notices of a hearing you haven't set yet within a certain number of days. It's literally an impossibility to meet that, and I have in my past life gone to the Florida legislature and asked for them to actually fix this, but nobody really cares, so we just fix it on ourselves.
Does this come with the norm, and maybe this is a question for Jim, does this come with the normal budget process I mean, do we have to budget more money if these things go on and on and on? Because,
Budget
these
amendment.
legal things can.
Yeah,
It depends on the cost.
it depends on the cost. Right now, from a cost perspective, from a legal fee perspective, this does not come under the retainer that you typically have. It's outside the
Right.
retainer. Obviously, I work very hard to try and keep your costs as low as possible.
Sure.
We were very fortunate from a cost perspective to find a magistrate that is doing this at a very, very low rate.
Good.
Which there is a question as to whether or not it wholly needs to be borne by the local government or is something that you can split the magistrate's fees. In this instance, I'm less worried about it because this particular magistrate came in with a very, very, very favorable rate. So I've seen rates in other situations where you're talking $500 or $600 an hour, and that's not where we are. We're way below that. We're in the 200 range. So, which is very, very helpful. In terms of cost, right now I think we're not going to have a budget issue. I've already talked to Jim about it a little bit just to let him know that this was happening so that we can make sure that we don't get kind of crazy with the budget. Obviously, whenever you start to have more litigation, and you don't have a lot of litigation here, this is definitely not a jurisdiction that I've seen over my time working here, working with y'all, a lot of litigation. I think there's only been one other case that I've been involved in, and I think it didn't go very far. So, and that was very early in my tenure here. So, you always have to worry about costs, and I always try really hard to make sure we can manage those. And again, I spoke with Jim about how, just letting him know this was happening. I did let him know, I think, about the other piece of litigation as well. That was into your insurance. This is not, the special magistrate process that I'm talking about, that's statutory, that's not into court. I cannot promise you on the other side of this, you won't end up at court. We make sure to inform your insurance folks to let them know, and whether or not they want to provide their own attorneys through your insurance or not it's very dependent on what the matter is as a general matter, not this matter specifically. But I always advise, please let your insurance know if they're going to cover that. Then they may want to choose their own lawyer. Or I've had instances where my firm, because of the nature of our work, the insurance company will actually retain us at their rates, which actually works out really well because you've got the continuity of service, and the rates are usually rates that aren't problematic for us. So I've done that several times with other clients. We never got there because the one matter went away for now, and this other matter wouldn't be covered under your insurance policy at this point because it's not litigation yet. It's just a potential pre-litigation mediation process through Florida statutes. It's the best way I can describe it. A lot of legal words to get to how I describe that, but yes, that's really what it is. So, but it's a fair question, and I obviously was worried about it right away, and I talked with Jim about that just to let him know that we're going to work to try and keep this as low as possible.
All right, we'll see what happens. All right, what else we got? Anybody?
That's all I got.
Jim? Jim's got something. It's never good.
Nothing about budget. Really, I just wanted to update you all. We're in the process, I was trying to get this done for this meeting, but I wasn't able to get it together. We do have to do some rollovers of budget, primarily the fire station, because I budgeted the completion basically mostly to be done last year. So I'm going to be coming forward and asking for a rollover of about $5,215,000 to the new year. Right now, on my books, we're over budget by $800,000. We've paid out more than, I budgeted $1.4 million. And I'm estimating about $6.6 million that we still have outstanding on the contract. So I need to send that roll it over to the new fiscal year. So it's really more bookkeeping. We had it in the budget, we just didn't use it in '23, so I'm gonna roll it to '24. Also, we budgeted, I think it was 52.2 for the EOC generator. We did not get that delivered in 2023. I have actually paid for it, but we need to roll that budget also So I'm gonna roll 50,000 from 23 to 24 on that. A couple of things that departments have asked for. Chief had to buy 2 sets of bunker gear for new employees. We did not budget bunker gear in our capital account, so I do want to add about $15,950 for bunker gear for his 2 new employees. If he took that out of his uniforms, he'd wipe out his uniform budget. So and technically, it's a capital item. It's got a, a 5-year life. So we're going to pay that out of capital, the capital budget. Also, I do want to roll over 2 items. It's under public safety, but it's community improvement. I want to roll about 33, and I'm actually not going to roll 33.5. I need to get about 8,500 in new monies. Basically, we have some Tyler Energov bills that we have to pay, and we're over budget, but we did have monies left over last year. So I'm going to roll those monies forward, but I'm still going to need about $8,500 in new money on that. So I'm going to do that. And another rollover item, Carly may want to have some discussion about this. We talked about, we were going to put security cameras in at the new, at the CID complex and at City Hall. I think they were external security video cameras. They were in last year's budget for a building, and we do have a little bit of money left over there, so I want to roll that over. We didn't budget a lot for it, but I'm thinking Terry's going to get some quotes on that, but I'm thinking 15,000 initially for each, it's maybe 7,500 here, 7,500 there. It just depends on the number of cameras and where we want to position them and that kind of stuff. So we're working on that number, but that's a rollover item. We had money left over in that account, so again, that's a rollover. And then the final 2 items, community improvement is over on their auto repair line item.
No way.
Terry asked us if we could increase that, so I'm suggesting a $1,240 increase to that. We're $240 in the hole. We had some unexpected expenditures in that account, so we're negative in that account. And then also wanted to add a little bit of money to her uniform because she's got 2 new employees also. So we're thinking. I was thinking $1,000, but I'm going to talk with Terry a little bit more on that and see if that's the right number. So. Just wanted to give you the heads up. You'll probably see that on the March agenda, and it's just rollovers. But they're big
You
numbers.
can't just hire new fire guys that are the same size, and we just change their name on the back. Oh, do ya? Okay, well, at least you try. You get points for that.
That's basically it. Just wanted to update you on that.
Okay.
Working on it. Okay.
All right, I think we have got everybody. Nothing, right? Okay, all right. Nothing, Emery? No? All right, then we are going to adjourn. Thank you, everybody.